So we're here at the end of Breaking Bad Season 1, and I want to quickly talk, of course, about the last episode here, because I haven't talked about it yet, and then we're going to kind of cover what I think about the whole series in its finished state. I have heard, and I might talk about this a bit more later, I have heard that Season 1 was sort of left in an incomplete state because of some writer's strike that happened at the time of its production, is the word. And so it ends fairly abruptly, and it doesn't feel like it's a really actually like finished ending for a season. But that Season 2 kind of gets into the ending they were hoping to have for this season. And I think, if I remember correctly, Episode 2 of Season 2 is kind of what they intended for the finale of this first season. So I'll talk a bit more about that once we get to it, and kind of what I think of that. As it stands for this finale, didn't hate it, so that's good, I guess. I do also want to say the part 1 of this series has now become the most viewed video on this second channel of mine, which is very cool. I don't know how that happened. I did entirely different content here at first, and my main channel is entirely different content, and I didn't really advertise this series very much anywhere, but hey, I will totally take that. It seems like you guys really are curious what I have to say about the series, and I'm going to keep doing so. I will be taking a short break for a few days, nothing too crazy, just so I can kind of catch up and get a few videos ready for this before I continue with my thoughts. So I'll have like maybe the next 3 episodes of this review lined up, and then I'll get those out in quick succession as I also watch the rest of this next season. And then hopefully it'll all be done in a few days, because I just keep wanting to watch more. I just keep wanting to find out what happens. So going into just specifically about Episode 7 before we cover the season as a whole. First thing I noticed that I thought was actually kind of weird, at the beginning of the episode, Walter and Skyler are in this meeting at school, and he starts to like grip her leg, and then things escalate from there. I don't know what the point of that was. I think she was just stressed, and he could tell that. But it seemed to be a little odd, a little out of nowhere. Well, it hasn't been the first time something like that has happened in the show so far, but I don't know, just found it kind of weird and out of place, and it seemed weird. Also, that scene in the school got me thinking about what it would be like if Walter had a conversation with Walter Jr. about not doing drugs, and how awkward and also hilarious that would be, and just ironic. That's something I have decided now that I want to see. I don't think we'll ever see it, but man, it would be funny if we did. And I also want to point out, Tuco, I think was his name. Hang on, let me just double check. Somehow I'm not remembering characters' names here. Yep, that'll be him, Tuco. He's a pretty great antagonist so far. He's kind of funny in a sort of chaotic sort of way, but also weirdly threatening. I don't know. It's a weird sort of dichotomy to his character that I kind of like. I don't know how long he's going to last in the series. It feels like maybe he's just going to be sort of an initial villain to kind of get things going, and then he's going to be kind of killed off really quick. I don't know. Or maybe he'll be a sort of long-term character. I can't say for sure. I love hating him, and while Walter did sort of establish himself well as a rival here at first, I'm not sure if it's going to last. It looks like even at the end of the episode already, Walter was kind of shocked by just the insanity of this man. So we'll see if Walter's new confidence that I'm starting to notice in him will continue for very long. It seems like it's kind of already waning as he realizes he is still in over his head. To this day, I'll be perfectly honest, I did forget that Skyler is pregnant. It just slipped my mind with all the other things going on. But I will forgive myself for that, because there's other stuff to keep track of in this show. I've seen very little of this show, but I do find it kind of weird how I haven't heard anything about this child. Nothing. So I find that a bit odd. I wonder if something bad's gonna happen to the baby. That would be really messed up, so I don't think so. The series has gotten pretty dark so far, but it hasn't quite gotten to the point where I think that it has no limits, and it could do any messed up thing it wants. So far, I haven't really felt that way. With something like Berserk, you have no idea what's going to happen next. It could be something completely insane and super dark, With this show, I feel like they wouldn't kill a child. I just find it weird that I didn't even know that Walter and Skyler had a second child. Again, I don't know nearly anything about the series, so I don't know why that surprises me so much. I just found it odd anyway. Also, Jesse's character, he has quite a few mood swings. One minute he's all, yeah, science or whatever, and the next he's despairing over everything. I don't know if that's just the stress of the situation, or if it's just a sort of another joke that the series is playing. The series has a very interesting style of dark humor, where at first I wasn't really able to tell if they were joking all the time, and if I was supposed to laugh at something. I think I've gotten to the point where I can kind of tell, but with something like that, like with Jesse, just 1 minute being super gung-ho, and the next being terrified that something bad is going to happen. Can't think of any exact examples, but I can't tell if that's supposed to be played for laughs at all. I don't know. Usually I'm pretty good at figuring that out, but I guess here it's either it's flying over my head or I'm way overthinking everything. During both episodes 5 and this one, I felt really touched at certain points. I think during episode 5 it was during the intervention scene, kind of. This time it was during Walter's video to his daughter. Just really touching stuff that the performances help so much. I haven't cried because I'm a man, but it was really touching nonetheless. And just, I am expecting those emotional beats to be amplified as the series goes on. And I can't wait. I feel like as well, I'm kind of learning a lot with this show. I forget exactly what it is, but I have a note here. The story of the German device. I think it was a weapon that the Germans used during World War II, and it was really powerful. I forget the exact details, but it was very hard to take out. Didn't know anything about that before, and now I vaguely know something about it. So I'm learning little things here. It's super educational, this show. It's great. Don't know how Walter knows it, but who cares? Also, I remembered while I was watching this episode, in the previous episode of these reviews, I mentioned, like kind of as a slip-up in my speech, which I do a lot, that I was excited for all the crimes that are to come, all the heists and stuff, which is silly, because I would assume there wouldn't be any heists in this show. What are the characters going to steal? What's Walter going to end up stealing? I didn't think that was going to be the sort of crimes that would be delved into, but I was looking for a word, and that's the one that came into my mind, and I felt kind of silly, only for now in this episode, for there to be a literal heist scene. I forgot exactly what they were stealing, some kind of chemical, so I've officially gotten my sort of subconscious wish of what I was looking for, and that's great, and we'll probably see more of that at some point, if I had to guess. I don't know. Overall, and the entire season overall as well, kind of a low-key finale, actually. Like, looking back at the entire season, it almost seems like kind of an origin story or a prequel for what is to come in the next 4 seasons. 4 seasons, I think. Yeah, maybe. It seems like it's setting up the main story, and like this is just kind of, like I said, like an origin story for our main characters. And the actual stuff that's about to go down is just starting. Which, it seems weird. I don't know. I can't quite place why that's how I feel about this first season. I like it, but it feels like things really have yet to get going, and I think I'm starting to see how things are going to end up getting crazier over time, because now that I've been introduced to the world and to the characters and to the sort of dynamics they have with each other, it makes a lot more sense how this could kind of escalate to possibly insane proportions. Only, really, only at the end of this first season is everything really established. I feel like we've kind of gotten a good handle on all the characters, even like Marie, who in this finale, it is sort of established she has a bit of a criminal side. I don't know if Hank knows about that, but she's been like stealing expensive jewelry items. I don't know if that was a one-time thing, or if she does that all the time, but I'm kind of curious to learn more about her character, since up until now I kind of saw her as like this, I guess, really good person, if that makes sense. Even in like these last 2 episodes, Heisenberg as an alias has been officially established. Walter's bald look has been established. All the things that I kind of knew about the series going in have now been established. I think like the one thing, or the two things, that I know eventually are a thing in this series but that haven't shown up yet are like characters who I've seen memes of and stuff. Like Gus, whoever he is, I'm thinking he's gonna be some sort of other crime boss of some kind. And Saul Goodman, lawyer, I believe. Yeah, at least I think he starts that way. I don't know if that's how he ends up, but I know he's gonna play a part in things eventually. Maybe if Walter gets exposed for everything he's been doing, maybe that's when Saul comes in and it becomes a sort of legal battle. I don't know. Legal battle against who, even? I don't know how things are going to go, but I'm kind of curious to see how those characters kind of are introduced and how they play into the greater narrative here. Yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. We'll see how things play out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll do Season 2 in a few days. We'll start that. I'll see you all then. Bye-bye.